Hey guys, Brad and the Buff. I got my hat on my head and I'm ready to go. I want to do a video about my upcoming through hike on the Allegheny Mountain Trail through West Virginia. I am so stoked to be starting this trip just tomorrow. It is a trail that runs from the West Virginia border all the way up the Allegheny Mountains to the West Virginia-Pennsylvania border. It's a 330-mile trail that people have been working on for years. It's going to show me the good, all the beautiful landscapes of West Virginia, and I'm really excited to tell you guys about the trip and the gear that I'm bringing with me in this video. The Allegheny Trail is a 330 mile. It starts just off the Appalachian Trail on Peters Mountain in Virginia. It intersects there and it runs all the way to Pennsylvania at the Mason-Dixon line where Pennsylvania borders West Virginia just above Morgantown. Super exciting. I'm going to be going through White Sulphur Springs. I run through Huntersville. I'm going to be going through Cass and Durbin. And then up into the northern part of the state near Rollsburg and Terra Alta. And then finally I finish up at that Mason-Dixon line. This is the longest hike that I've ever done. I've never done a complete through hike of one trail as well. I'll be out on the trail for approximately 13 days. I'm going to be averaging somewhere around 25 miles a day. And I'm just excited to see all the different parts of West Virginia. The West Virginia mountains are beautiful. Everything is so green right now. And just to feel that mountain air and see all the different changes of scenery, the pines, the growths, hopefully a bear, maybe a snake or two. You never know. All the possibilities are out there. And so it's supposed to be a beautiful trail. I got most of my information from it's the West Virginia Scenic Trails organization. This is the booklet that they give you, wvscenictrails.org, and it gives you all your trail notes. I've done most of my trip planning based off this. I've also had help. There's a Facebook page for the Allegheny Trail that is just chock full of useful information. Some people up there have answered every question I've asked. A special shout out to Jeff Byard and Justin Mullins. If I ever had a question, they were more than happy to answer me. I don't know them personally, but they've been very nice. I also used YouTube. There's several YouTube, but the one that I used the most was the Blue Blaze and Beyond, was a YouTube site where they did sections of the trail and tried to show people. I'm going to be doing something very similar. The trail is 4 sections, and the section 3 and section 4 currently do not connect unless you do what they call the road walk, which is the route I'll be taking. The other way you can do it is you can shuttle from the end of section 4 to the beginning of section 3. But I'm going to be doing the road walk to connect the two. So I'm probably going to be doing a video on each individual section, and then I'll be doing a video of my overall trip. I am trying to submit to the FKT website, which is the fastest known time. I'm going to be mapping out my trail to try to get that record for the fastest known time for a self-supported trip. I'm going to be doing all my resupplies along the way. Most of it I'm going to be resupplying in Thomas and Davis and at White Sulphur Springs. So I've only got about a 7-day gap there. I've tried to get my gear pretty tight for the trip. Let me show you what I have prepared to do. My typical loadout for my clothes, I'm going to bring, my quick dry shirt. This is an Outdoor Research, real easy to rinse off and dry. This is my Vormy outdoor hoodie. I use this for sun protection, just for something dry to put on at night to keep me warm. I wear a pair of synthetic underwear for the day that I can rinse out at night and hang up to dry, and then a pair of merino wool for night. 2 pairs of socks, one for the day, one that I always keep dry for night, and sock liners that I can easily clean out. And then my Columbia Silver Ridge shorts, lots of pockets, makes it easy to organize for the day. That's what I use for my clothes. See what I got in my gear. My total setup for this trio that I'm going to have my back is 7 pounds and 4 ounces. I got it pretty dialed down. I'm pretty happy about that. So I should be under 10 pounds with water for most of the trip, plus my food. Like I said, I got a 7-day gap of food I have to carry there, so I shouldn't hit above 20 pounds if I plan it just right. I got my normal water bottle that I'm going to keep my clean water in and drink out of it that I put on my front pocket here. I got this really cool camera holder by Joby. It only weighs 2 ounces and it's got these reticulating arms so you can grip it on things. So I'm going to use this for my setup for my camera. My titanium, this is my Tokes titanium French press. I took out the French press part to get rid of a few ounces, but this is what I'm going to boil my water in, use it as my drinking cup. I got this CNOC collapsible cup because when you attach your water filter to it, it's a lot easier to squeeze it down if you're filtering dirty water into your mouth or whatever. So as opposed to like a hard bottle that kind of gets crunchy, this one is soft, and also it packs down smaller. I'm bringing my Sawyer Squeeze as my main water filtration. I'm bringing my CNOC 3-liter bag for my water carry if I need to filter it overnight. I gravity filter it. I got my Bivy ACR, my Bivy stick. This is my GPS communicator. I just did a video on this. Allows me to send texts and an SOS if I get into trouble. An Anchor 20,000 milliamp battery. This should keep me good for about a week of recharges. Fox LE headlamp. I got my titanium long handle spoon. My CNOC buck bag. This is what I use basically as my bowl. I like this because I can close it and I can use it to cold soak in if I need to. This is the lid. I'm going to be using my tarp setup for my sleeping arrangements for my shelter. Most of the trip, about half of the nights, I'm going to be in shelters that are along the trail. I've planned it purposely that way. I love checking out the shelters. So I do have this tarp in case I do have to sleep outside, but I didn't go with the tent. It was one of the harder choices I had to make, but I think I'm going to be just fine in this shelter. This is my typical bag. It's got all my cords in it, my first aid. Which I normally don't bring, but I am bringing some bug spray. This Repel 40% D, this Repel Max. I'm bringing that in case I set up my shelter and there's a lot of bugs that I can at least spray myself down for night so I don't get eaten alive. Got a couple extra strings, some pins. Most of my safety stuff is in here. I am using an alcohol stove for this trip. Typically I don't, but this allows me an easier refill. It's a Tokes titanium stove. I got a wind blind for it and some clippers to pick it up. I got my pillow, which I love bringing my pillow along. That is important to me. This is the Trekology 2.0 pillow. I'm using my Enlightened Equipment 40-degree quilt. That should keep me plenty warm. It's supposed to be between 60 and 80. This is my Polycro ground sheet that I use for underneath my tarp that I put my Thermarest X-Lite on. This was the hardest choice for me, was probably the X-Lite or my Uber Light, but my X-Lite is an extra large and extra wide, and I find it to be a little bit more comfortable, actually a lot more comfortable than my Uber Light. If it was just going to be for a couple days, I'd probably take my Uber Light, but because it is going to be for over a week, getting my rest is important. And so I would rather bring my extra large, extra wide, more comfortable pads so that I make sure I sleep well. And you know, this has been my main backpack for a while, my Z-Packs Nero. And then of course I have my, what I use for my back pad, which is also another mat in case this one gets deflated, and also to protect it is my Gossamer Gear 1/8 inch thin light. So I can kind of lay this out, put this on top of it, and if something happens and that pops, I'm at least not sleeping directly on the ground. So that's my gear for the trip. I got everything dialed in. I feel great. The weather is supposed to be pretty kind of cloudy and rainy the first week, but I think it's going to be great after that. And I just can't tell you how excited I am to head out for my first big through hike adventure. Normally I do weekends and small sections. I've done 10-day trips before, but it's really hard when you have a family like I do and a job to get out for really long periods of time. So for me, this has taken a lot of planning and a lot of sacrifice from my family and friends to make sure that I can go on this trip, which I greatly appreciate. But I'm just stoked to actually get that far out. I'm probably going to listen to a lot of books on tape at night and just enjoy being outside and, you know, enjoying God's creation. And so I hope my video series goes well. I hope this is exciting to you guys. I hope this is helpful and maybe even inspiring. Hey guys, if you like the video you just saw, please subscribe, click the bell so you can get alerted for any new videos that I may do, and check the links below for any information I described in the video. I'll try to put as much there as possible. Thanks for watching.